order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, ma'am. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for.
Hello, it's Willie from YouTube, and today we're gonna be talking about Kevin Samuels again. He's been on YouTube for a while now, and he's really has caused a storm with his statement when he said that black women will die alone. Now, I looked at his statement, and why is it causing so much furor is because this is something that black women did not want to hear, and the tone that he used it in really scared a lot of people. But when you look at it, Kevin Samuels is right. He is so right that 90% of black women will die alone with no husband in sight. Maybe a boyfriend, but not a husband that's gonna wife them up. No, 70% of them will never be married. The other 15% that do get married, half of them end in divorce. So really, 7% are successful. And 10% of them will never get married. So when you look at the numbers, like really only 15% of black women actually get married. And 7% of that 50% is married interracial. So marrying out. So it's a very small number that's not even, it's not even going to be a discussion for this video today. Because this all started in 1965. In 1965, black men and black women had the highest marriage rates. Only 85% of black men and black women were married in 1965. Now it's 2020 and only 15% are getting married, black men and black women. How did this all start? This all started in 1965. First of all, we have black on black crime, which has taken a lot of black men off the market by the time they reach 25. Black on black crime by homicide at the hands of other black men. Not leaving any black men available for women. Another spewing into this would be gangster rap. And a lot of the music at that time, starting from the 60s all the way up to now, is not really talking about getting married and finding that one to settle down with. A lot of the music nowadays is all about whole culture. Just pumping and dumping the women, not getting married. So that really fed into what's the point of getting married. Another thing is education. Now, a lot of women, in terms of black women, they had the highest attendance rate to post-secondary education. They are the most educated class with black women. So this requires women to be off the market for probably 5 to 10 years. Because they're busy getting into school and decide to go the career route. So then once they get into the year of 30 years old, that age range, that's when they start looking for men. And that's kind of late because you've given up your youth to get education. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but it just works different in terms of men and women. With men, as they get older, they can build, and as they get more money and status, they become more attractive. But it's a difference with women. So like a double standard, that as women get older, they lose their attractiveness, become less feminine. So it makes it harder for them to attract high value men or average looking men. And that's why a lot of these sisters, once they get to their 30s, they had to always talk about how they had to marry down or settle, because in terms of black men, we have a low attendance rate to post-secondary education. So a lot of these women, black women, look down upon these men who have not had any formal education, or even the blue-collar, apprentice, construction men, even they are looked down upon, although they make a lot of money too. We're talking about contractors, electricians, plumbers, carpenters. These people make a lot of money, even though they're looked down upon because they haven't gotten a degree after their name. Another problem we have here is when civil rights came in the 1960s, a lot of different things came along with civil rights, as in reforming child support, alimony, spousal support. All these things came in whereby if a woman was going to receive welfare, the government tells them that they're not allowed to have their husband or boyfriend or any male adult to be in the same apartment or house that they're living at in turn to receive child support. So the woman is stuck between choosing child support or choosing staying with a man, and they found that welfare has been more, women have found that there's more security in staying with with welfare than to stay with a man and depend on them completely to provide. And a lot of these men also have, become deadbeat dads, run away. So that's why a lot of women have now gone and looked for the support of the welfare system. Another big thing we got is divorce. Divorce is at an all-time high now, almost as high as 60%, even higher in the black population of 70%. So almost like, what's the point of getting married? Or a lot of these women are not getting married, and when they do get married, it's like 80% of them are initiated by the women to have a divorce. And once you have your first divorce, the second and third divorce have a higher rate of divorces. Another thing is mass incarceration starting from 1965. The 1, 2, 3 strikes. A lot of black men were incarcerated for non-violent crimes. And this makes it hard for them to get any jobs after they come out of jail. They have to go back to street life to earn a living. So this also takes out a lot of good men out of the mix. And then we have the drugs epidemic, 70s, 80s, cocaine, heroin. Those also took a lot of black men out of the population for being suitable for marriage. And then we have child support, which has scared a lot of men away from raising their children and taking care of their responsibilities. So this is why when you add up all the numbers and you compare from 1965, where black men and black women 85% were married, and now we're at 2020 and only 15% of them are getting married, and half of those are ending in divorce. So really only 7% of the black population, men and women, are actually getting married. This is how we arrived to this statement that Kevin Samuel has said that 90% of black women will die alone with no husband.
Adam says it isn't enough.
Somebody needs to pay for all my children and mine and Gary, all our suffering, all our pain. Somebody needs to be held accountable, and they need to pay.
And another thing you have to understand is that 50% of black men actually do not have children. So the 90% of these black women that are going after 20% of the men that have, all these baby daddies with the guy that has 5 or 6 baby dads, that only represent really 20% of the black male population. 50% of black men actually do not have children. So, to put the burden on these men, you're trying to find the best man you can. These men that don't have children want to be with women who don't have children. So with black women, that's about 15% of black women who don't have children. Because at their age of 35 for women, men are always looking for younger. So guys, this is Willie from YouTube. I looked into Kevin Samuels' statement of why he believes most black women will die alone. If you look at the statistics right now, with the low marriage rate, the high divorce rate, women out of wedlock, women with children out of wedlock, it just seems so unattractive for men to get married. And then on top of that, you got child support, alimony, spousal support, all those other things added on there. It just makes marriage so unattractive that now really 7% are successful in their marriage. Anyways guys, Will from YouTube. Any comments you can leave them down below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.